guys, this is Dan from PupFresh.com. I'm hanging out here with Anthony of Bayside. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, absolutely. So right now you're on tour with Taking Back Sunday.
Yes.
How is it?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've known those guys since we were kids. You know, since before there was a Taking Back Sunday or a Bayside. You know, so it's actually we've both been in bands for about 12 years. So it's cool. After all these years, it's actually the first proper tour we've done together. So it's fun to.
You just came off the Warped Tour, and
yeah,
just like the Hangouts continuing then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys are coming out with the covers EP later this month.
Yes.
Why? I mean, what?
We are about to start the process of writing the next Bayside record, and that takes a little while to write it, and then we record it, and then it takes a little time to release it. So we all just talked about maybe putting something out there that we can get together fairly quick to just to hold people over while we're working on the next one.
Now, are these covers that you've had in mind for a long time, or do you have to like sit down and say, all right, what songs do we want to throw on this?
Well, it's sort of any musician who would also be a music lover, and you have all the songs that you love as you're listening to, you know. So some of them were songs that we've always said, oh, how cool it would be to cover. There's one Elvis Costello song in particular that's on the record that we always said, oh, you know, we should like cover this for a show or something sometime. So some of them were, and some of them we kind of needed to figure out what we wanted to do.
Now, is any of that process more directed towards the fans, like, all right, maybe they want to hear us do this, or is it completely personal, this is what we want to do?
I think we try to do both. You know, we do the same thing when we're building a set list. We try to find the songs that the fans would enjoy and that we'll enjoy. We never really lean too far in either direction. We don't really do anything that's solely for us and not care about other people's opinions, and we never really do anything solely that somebody else wants to hear that we don't like.
Well, I'm sure if you were doing it for them, you'd end up like covering Kesha or something.
Right. Yeah, that's true. We did mostly the record's mostly oldies. Though. Yeah. So it's mostly like classics that a lot of people probably heard from their parents. You know, the kind of things that we all grew up hearing around the house when we were like very, very little. That's what most of the record is made up of.
Yeah. Now, you've been a pretty busy guy this year. You know, you went from like solo tour to like Bayside tour leading up to Warped to doing 2 sets, and now, you know, with little time off, you're already back on the road. Yeah. Are you the type of person that you need to keep busy in order to just like that's just natural for you?
I like to keep busy. I don't really need to keep busy. If I wind up with time off, then I enjoy it. But I do like to feel like I'm accomplishing something all the time.
Now, you've done some co-writing for bigger pop artists, from what I understand. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I did a couple of things for. I worked a little bit for the Avril Lavigne record, the new one. I don't think anything that we wound up working on wound up getting used, but it's something that I mess around with. I did some stuff for the I'm the Avalanche record, and you know, it's fun. I like writing songs, and sometimes people ask me to come in and help.
How does something like that come about? I mean, is it like, do they hit you up and say, all right, we heard Bayside, we want a song in this style?
Yeah, I think with more of the punkier bands, the scene bands, I think it is more like they're Bayside fans and they kind of want that influence. The pop stuff, sometimes I get asked. I don't really know. I don't know how it happens, to be honest. I know that in the real co-writing world, it is sort of something that you submit. You hear that you hear Kesha's working on a new record, and you write some songs and submit them to her. But I don't go that far. Like if somebody asks me to come in, then I'll come in.
It's like some producer somewhere heard Bayside and it's just natural,
right,
to hit you up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a really big thing for me. You know, I kind of concentrate on my own music.
Now, when you're writing for your solo stuff, how do you determine what is a Bayside song and what is an Anthony Raneri song?
It's usually pretty obvious. I mean, all the songs that wound up on my solo record, 4 out of 5 of them were songs I wrote years ago that were just obviously, like, some of them I even took to Bayside and we would work on it in practice if we were working on a record, and it would just get cut from a record just because it just obviously wasn't, you know. Like most of it, like, it's a lot of like country songs and stuff on that record, so it's, you know, it's usually pretty obvious. I never write for one or the other. I just write, and then it's cool to have the solo thing as an outlet for the songs that don't work for Bayside. Now that they could exist in somewhere.
So it's a genre thing more as a personal thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I really, it is completely just an outlet for all the songs that don't work as Bayside songs to be heard somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So then going back to the pop songs that you're writing, could we see something like that on an upcoming solo album?
Maybe. I mean, the cool thing about the solo stuff is I've tried to establish it as like fairly genre-less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that's a word.
Do whatever you want.
Right. Yeah. The record, there's country songs and there's reggae stuff and rock stuff, and so I've tried to really kind of make it a point to say this. My solo stuff isn't alt country. It's not rock. It's not pop. It's whatever songs I have laying around. I'm gonna put it there.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the strongest aspect of your band is, and what you offer to the people that listen?
It's hard to say. I mean, I guess just like there's some like a musical honesty that we have. Outside of the honesty in the lyrics and stuff, I think there's just musically, I think it's hard to call bullshit on our band. To say that we don't know what we're doing, to say that any of us aren't good at our instruments, to say that any of us lack any sort of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I think it comes across in our music that we do what we want, what we love.
Mm-hmm. What do you want people to take out of listening to your band?
I mean, I want people to. For me, it's really cathartic to write. The lyrically, I guess, is the easiest way to speak to it. Is it's really cathartic to write those songs. So if people can kind of like expunge any of the feelings that I was able to while I was writing it, but just by listening to it, like if I was in a bad mood or if I was upset, and those words helped me get past it, then hopefully it does the same for somebody else.
What's your favorite part of your live show?
It's funny, we were just talking about this like last night, that we've been closing with Devotion and Desire since the record came out, since the self-titled record came out in 2005, and it's to this day like it's still the most exciting part for us to get to that song at the end of the set, and the reaction to that song every night. Like that's my favorite part. Always.
Do you ever think about throwing the fans a curveball and maybe like, let's do this midway through, see what they do?
I think we may have tried like opening with it before, but I mean it just works so well. It's fun, and then just to get to the end of the set that way, there's always like an anchor, that everybody's gonna enjoy.
It's building up to that.
Playing. Yeah. The cover record's coming out October 23rd, and we self-released it. It's completely done all by us. We funded it and produced it, and we are like I actually own the merch company that does our store, so we're like shipping it, ordering everything. It's all us. So check it out, and we have some really cool pre-order bundles going on right now through our website, which is bayside.com.
Cool. So check all that out. Thank you again for watching. Peace.